Hello and welcome to the career simulation of Cayden Lindstrom. To start off, Lindstrom would be playing on the first forward line of the Medicine Hat Tigers. In his first season, Lindstrom would play 68 games and would score 128 points. Medicine Hat would finish 15th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Also, Lindstrom is projected to go 6th overall. In the draft lottery, the Blackhawks and Sharks have the best odds at the first overall pick. After the lottery, the Ducks and Flyers would receive the first two picks, and Lindstrom is now projected to go 6th to Nashville. With the 7th overall pick in the draft, the Coyotes would draft Lindstrom. He is revealed to be a 73 and would receive his first NHL contract at 3 years worth $894,000. He is now a 78. Lindstrom would play 52 games with the Coyotes and would score only 10 points. The Coyotes would finish 21st in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom would progress up to an 80 overall. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 33 points. The Coyotes would finish 28th in the league and would miss the playoffs again. He is now an 83. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 44 points. The Coyotes would finish 24th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom would receive a one-year deal worth $5 million as well. He would also go up to an 83. Cayden Lindstrom would play 82 games, scoring 83 points. The Coyotes would finish 23rd in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom would then receive a huge 8-year deal for $8.9 million. He is now an 89. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 101 points. The Coyotes would finish 21st and would once again miss the playoffs. He is still an 89. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 95 points. The Coyotes would finish 28th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom is now up to a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 90 points. Arizona would make the playoffs for the first time, placing 16th in the league. However, in the first round, the Coyotes would be eliminated to the Avs in 5 games. In 5 games, Lindstrom would score 2 points. He is still a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 82 points. The Coyotes would finish 4th in the league and would make the playoffs. In the second round, the Avalanche would eliminated the Yotes in 6 games. In 13 games, Lindstrom would score an impressive 19 points. Lindstrom would reach his maximum potential at 90 overall. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 89 points. The Coyotes would finish 2nd in the league and would make the playoffs. In the Western Conference Finals, the Golden Knights would eliminate the Coyotes in 7 games. In 16 games, Lindstrom would score 12 points. Lindstrom is still a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 107 points. The Coyotes would place 3rd in the league and would make the playoffs. In the conference finals, Kings would eliminate the Coyotes in 6 games. In 17 games, Lindstrom would score 15 points. Lindstrom is still a 90 overall. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 92 points. The Coyotes would finish 1st and make the payoff. Once again, the Coyotes would be eliminated in the conference finals, this time to the Oilers in 7 games. In 17 games, Lindstrom would score 20 points. In the last year of his 8-year contract, Lindstrom is of course still a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 86 points. The Coyotes would finish 24th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom would receive another contract from the Coyotes, this time for 5 years worth $10.1 million. He is still a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 83 points. The Coyotes would finish 3rd in the league and would make the playoffs. In the first round of the playoffs, the Coyotes would be eliminated to the Kings in 7 games. In 7 playoff games, Lindstrom would score 8 points. Lindstrom is still a 90. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 90 points. The Coyotes would finish 3rd in the league and would make the playoffs. The Coyotes would be eliminated to the Blue Jackets in 5 games in the Cup Finals. In 20 games, Lindstrom would score 23 points. Lindstrom is now down to an 89. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 70 points. The Coyotes would finish 11th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Coyotes would finally win their Stanley Cup against the Blue Jackets in 6 games. In 25 games, Lindstrom would score 25 points. He is still an 89. Lindstrom would only play 48 games this season, scoring 37 points. The Coyotes would unfortunately finish 26th in the league and would miss the playoffs. Lindstrom is down to an 87. In 82 games, Lindstrom would score 67 points. The Coyotes would finish 13th in the league and would make the playoffs. In the first round, the Coyotes would be eliminated to the Stars in 6 games. In 6 games Lindstrom would score only 3 points. Lindstrom would receive a new 2-year contract worth $4.9 million. He is also down to an 86. In 82 games Lindstrom would score 43 points. The Coyotes would finish 26th and would miss the playoffs. He is now an 84. In 60 games Lindstrom would score 26 points. The Coyotes would finish 5th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Coyotes would be eliminated in the first round to the Oilers in 4 games. In those 4 games Lindstrom would score no points. Lindstrom would receive a 1-year deal worth $2.8 million. He is now down to an 80 as well. In 72 games Lindstrom would score 8 points. The Coyotes would finish 18th in the league and would make the playoffs. The Coyotes would be eliminated in the first round again to the Avalanche in 6 games. In those 6 games Lindstrom would score 0 points. Lindstrom would receive another contract at 2 years worth $1 million. He is now a 78 as well, playing in the AHL. Lindstrom would play 43 games and would score 41 points. The Coyotes would finish 4th in the league and would of course make the playoffs. In the second round the Roadrunners would be eliminated to the Wild in 6 games. In 12 games Lindstrom would score 10 points. He is now a 75 and on the Utica Comets. Here is the trade. He was traded for Roman Binesek and a pick. In 44 games Lindstrom would score 28 points. The Comets would finish 17th in the league and would use the playoffs. Finally, at the age of 40, Cayden Lindstrom would retire from the NHL. He would also have his number 28 retired by the Coyotes. Here are his stats in the NHL only. Pause to read if you'd like. In games played all-time Lindstrom would play 1,565 games, placing him 23rd in between Michael Misa and Connor Bedard. In games played in Coyotes history he played 1,566 games, placing him first in all-time. For goals Lindstrom scored 507 goals, placing him second in between Dylan Guenther and a made-up prospect named Eric Yu. In assists for Coyotes history Lindstrom put up 827 assists, placing him second in between Eric Yu and Kaltzoff. I am not saying the first name. Finally, in points all-time he put up 1,334 points, placing him second in between Clayton Keller and. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.